Hey, you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Alright. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do I do this to myself? Last we left off, it started. I started driving it around the block, around the neighborhood here and there, and then it started making a really high-pitched squealing noise. I refuse to believe it's anything in the head. I pulled the head apart yesterday, had the cams out. There's some marks in it from the previous time the engine was together, but I feel like it's coming from the bottom end, which is unusual because I didn't do anything to the bottom end. But before I send the head out, I'm gonna pull the transmission. Yeah, I don't even know, guys. I don't know. I can't freaking win with this car. I should have left it alone. The B20 was running great. I gotta have VTEC though. Alright, well, let's go. Okay, let me just start by prefacing this as I really don't want to do this. But here goes nothing. Okay, end of day update. What we've done is I pulled out the clutch and the throwout bearing to just completely disable the transmission. So by disabling the transmission, I eliminate the idea that there's any possible way that the bearing noise could be coming from within the transmission. It's still there. It's still there. I have no fucking clue what it is, but it's still there. So we eliminated the possibility that it could be in the transmission, and I'm almost positive that it is now the head, primarily the cams. I don't know what happened before or what the real history is on this head. I bought it like 6 or 7 years ago, and it's just kind of sat on a shelf since then. So I actually have an old set of cam caps from my old head. Unfortunately, that's the only thing I have still from that head, and they look good. Honestly, they look better than the ones that are on this head right now. I did pull the cam caps off, and there was a little bit of scoring on them, so it's kind of a rough situation here. Sucks, really sucks, because I was super excited to have a V20 VTEC in this car again, and nothing's going right as usual. And for some reason, this car has always given me problems. This is just being a nightmare. So today I'm just gonna reinstall the clutch and pressure plate transmission. As I roll this pilot bearing around, I can feel the notches in it, so it does feel kind of rough. I'm gonna go ahead and replace that as well. But yeah, let's get to it. Let's get started. No time to waste. It's actually already like noon. So okay, so first order of business, pilot bearing removal. Flywheel has to come off. This one does look kind of rough, but we're gonna send it anyways. So here we go. I got my flywheel off the car. The pilot bearing cannot be removed in the car. It has to be removed from the back side, as you can see. It is a kind of a press fit bearing. I don't have a press, but what I'm going to use is a 19mm 1/2" deep impact socket and the trusty old BFH. So, I'm going to give her a good couple whacks and we'll see if she pops out. And that's it. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm hoping that this might be the noise, but I highly doubt it. I've never really seen one of these go bad either. I have my new pilot bearing. It's been in the freezer for like the last 2 hours. When you freeze metal, essentially it shrinks just a little bit. You know, just like heat makes things expand. All right, so here we go. And as you can see, this one doesn't spin quite so easily. But let's just make sure we keep it level. New pilot bearing is in, and it feels much, much nicer. Okay, so I got my spare cam caps over there. Don't usually recommend this. It's not suggested. Typically, the cam caps stay with the head. Unfortunately, obviously, I got this head used. It sat around for about 6-7 years, moved around a bunch. It's very possible I got the cam caps mixed up. I don't really remember. But the squealing, I'm almost certain, is coming from the camshafts. So I'm gonna undo the timing belt, remove the cam caps, swap them out with this other set that I have over here, and we're just gonna send it, see how that works. I guess we'll get to it. Let's go. Wish me luck. I don't think this is gonna work, but God, you're kidding me. Well, I feel defeated, you guys. Last thing I got is the water pump, and that won't be here for another couple days. I don't know what else to do at this point, besides start looking for a new head, or find the machine shop that can line hone this head for me. This sucks. This really, really sucks. Alright guys, another day goes by. The CRX is still screaming. I've removed the transmission, removed the throwout bearing, removed the pressure plate and clutch, put the transmission back in, tried it without the pressure plate and clutch, throwout bearing, it still screams. I've swapped out the timing belt tensioner with another timing belt tensioner, brand new, still freaking screaming. It only does it once it heats up. I'm at the point now where it's got to be something in the head. Hoping it's the camshafts that are warped. Now these camshafts came out of a previous head that I had that was running, and that head dropped a valve. The valve got smashed into the piston. I'm wondering if maybe something happened in that time that caused it to potentially damage or bend the camshafts. So what I'm going to do today is actually, I think it was a pretty good idea, honestly. And I designed these little plastic pieces here, and I had these bearings laying around, right? And they're just skateboard bearings. So I took the dimensions and got the dimensions of the camshaft here. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to test the run out of the camshaft by using these two little guys that I 3D modeled and 3D printed off my own 3D printer. As you can see, it's just a little piece right there, and the bearings slide right on. See if I can do it with one hand. And the bearings just slide right on, and then the camshaft sits right on top of this, and then we just spin it. And then I have a dial indicator that I'm going to use and set up here and test for run out of each cam journal, and what that'll tell me is if the camshaft itself is bent or not. Yeah, so let's get to it. Let's see how well this works. I'm really proud of this little setup I got here. It's simple, but it should work. All right, so there's that. As you can see, it spins pretty well. So I got my roller bearings set up, my camshaft. As I spin it, you should be able to see that run out change. As of right now, this motor has got to come out. Got to inspect the head, got to inspect the bottom end, because this squealing noise has got to stop. It's got to go. Didn't have this noise before I put the head on, so I feel like it might be an oiling issue. I'm not 100% certain. I might actually start with pulling off the oil pan first. Oil pan and oil pump, and see what I can find with that, because I never pulled the oil pump off of this car. This really sucks, y'all. This really, really sucks. Let's get to it. Alright guys, well I guess that's gonna do it probably for this video. I got the motor out of the Honda, pulled the oil pump off before I removed the motor. Just wanted to get a good look at that. There was nothing out of the ordinary, no metal shavings, the oil pump spins great. I can actually see it pumping what little oil was still in there. Got my head over here on the ground. I did take a straight edge to the cam journals and shine a light through the other side. How great that works for telling how straight the cam journals are, to be honest, I don't really know, but that's the closest thing I could get to thinking how to check if the cam journals are warped or not. Everything looks good on the head. I'm going to run to the store tomorrow because I have to get another engine stand for this. I can't work on a motor with it just hanging in the air like this. I thought really hard about it, and I can't bring myself to do that. It's not, doesn't lead to good quality work, and it's a very uncomfortable way of doing things. I'll have to bolt in the crank from underneath, which is not optimal. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that like button and smash that subscribe if you want to follow along. I'm gonna be pulling this motor apart further. I got the head off over there. I'm probably gonna send that off to a machine shop so they can check, get it line honed, check over everything very thoroughly. I don't have that kind of equipment around here, obviously. I can assemble it, but I need somebody else with heavy machinery to line hone it. So we're gonna send that off, and I'm gonna be pulling this bottom end apart and at least inspecting the rod bearings and main bearings for anything funny down there. I suspect possible oil starvation of some sort. I don't know exactly what's going on still with this motor. I can't figure out the squeak for the life of me. It's driving me nuts. So with that said, we gotta pull everything apart and start from ground zero. Hopefully with disassembly I'll find something that's not supposed to be there. But again, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.